Hello. Oops. So, today's topic, probably you already figured that out from the title, is about learning to channel. So, what I'm going to do is grab my handy dandy notes that just fell. And I'm going to introduce myself in case you're seeing this and I haven't met you yet. I'm Liana. And this idea of learning to channel is something that has it's been around for a while. I think that some of you who maybe have been working with this kind of concept for a little while, maybe even have gotten some books. There's a famous one, Learn to Channel. And in the new energies, I want to tell you that opening to channel and having open and easy communication and flow of information and energy from your angels, from your guides, from your higher self is so much faster and easier than it ever has been before. So if you're interested in this, if you see channeling or you hear about somebody's channeled information, it kind of pulls at you a little bit, all right? You kind of feel it in your heart, feel it in your belly, it pulls you a little bit. People who are attracted to channeling are natural channels. So even if you've tried in the past and it hasn't seemed that easy, or you weren't sure how to begin, now would be a wonderful time. And so I have been teaching learning to channel in one form or another since 2012, and we're here all the way to 2021 now. So happy return on that. We're in a really good place, a renewal of energies, and a lot of new things are possible. So having taught during that time frame, what I want to tell you is that it took more effort for a lot of us at one point. There was a lot of effort and pushing against resistance and working really hard, honestly, for just a little bit of something, little breakthroughs. And now what is happening, especially if you use the framework that I'm going to describe to you in a moment, is that you're supported. There's a really strong energy in the flow is very powerful right now. So that if you're interested, I guarantee you you're already wired in such a way that um, you're meant to do it, you're equipped to do it, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun with that. So the comments are open, you guys. If you have done this with me, good morning. There you guys are. Hi. If you have done this with me, any kind of comment of how it has affected a change in you or caused a breakthrough, something even specific, like you maybe you were working with some guides but you didn't know who they were, now you know who they were, or maybe you wanted to talk to your guide and you weren't able to, and then you did some of this work that I'm describing, whether it was with me or not. Let's just say you did some of this kind of work that I'm describing and then you had a breakthrough and it worked. I want to hear about that. And so if you look at this video, you're going to notice that there is a Facebook event associated with it. So I really want to talk about that. So if you're new to me, I'm Liana. This business page is the Healing Mind Center, and it encompasses past life therapy, energetic healing, readings, shamanic journeying and information gathering and healing, and also this concept of learning to channel and then having an ongoing channeling practice to support your life so that you are navigating your life experience with as much information and support as possible. So everybody has guides. There are no exceptions to that. So if you're watching this and you're wondering, do I have a guide? Yes, you have a spirit guide. Many people have many guides and they change over time. And so the topic isn't so much, what's a spirit guide? How do you know what kind of guides you have and this kind of thing. That would come out in the channeling though. So my focus is, yes, you have a guide. So now that you know that you have a guide, know that that guide has information that you do not have. So you're having your earth experience, you're having your human experience. By its nature, then you have limitations. on what you're able to do and perceive. That's life in the physical. More and more, those restrictions are lessening, and more humans who are alive right now are going to be able to experience the kinds of knowledge and also being able to affect the physical world around you the way we've seen in history. You know, prophets or saints performing miracles, kinds of things. This is coming into our abilities more and more now. You're going to see it in yourself, that your intuition is heightened. Maybe in the new energies that would manifest as crazy dreams, or just some more vivid feelings in your body, your sensitivities. Maybe you are able to perceive more in your physical vision, your clairvoyant vision. Some of you are clairaudient, you might be hearing some things. Even just subtle things, you know, the quiet sounds of the background of creation, this kind of thing. Hi, you guys, and thank you for the description. So Holly was saying that that she's had some healing and that it was a life changer, and that that makes my heart feel so like warm and amazing. It's tied in with my life purpose. Thank you. I'm so glad if there is any way that I can help you have the transformation and that healing, that life changing, that transformation where there's more light in your world, where life is more interesting than it used to be, more fun, more joyful, more interesting, more engaging. That if you're fueled by purpose from what comes through, learning to channel and be in touch with your larger world and what's already there around you right now, just your awareness has changed. That's perfect. So I want to talk to you about the Learn to Channel course. So on here, on this live video, or it's going to be recorded and you'll see it later maybe, and you're going to see that there's an event associated with it, and it says Learn to Channel, a 5-class series. I'm going to double check if I don't see it, that it's obvious that you can access that. Look at the Healing Mind Center on Facebook. Look at the events. That's coming right up. We're starting on January 15th. That's a 5-class series. If for some reason that isn't possible, but it's still kind of pulling at you later, we'll talk about this some more later because obviously it's repeatable. It's 5 weeks. It's 2 hours a week for 5 weeks. By the end of that, you're contacting your guide. The flow of information is open. It's going. And there's a support group to keep practicing. You can practice at a minimum every week, every month if you couldn't make it any more often than that, but you keep practicing and then you're building on your skill set until you're bringing in information like some famous channels that you're going to see, Esther Hicks channeling Abraham, Lee Carroll channeling Cryon, who are our famous ones here. Wonderful. Glad to see you there. You're welcome. I'll see you there. And Sarah, I'm glad you're here. Dendra, you're welcome. Oh, good. Holly, thank you. Janet, and Zach and Tiffany, good morning. And Lana, Robin, you guys, thank you so much. So this is the part where I want to talk about the structure of the class because it's special. So if you're interested in this, you've already channeled something. It could have been a wordless knowing. It came from your higher self. It came from your guide. There's your channeled information. You don't have to know where it came from. You used it or you just felt it. Those kinds of little intuitions and breakthroughs are normal and natural for human beings. Now, something that is less usual, something a little more uncommon then, is going to be the structure of this. So I told you it's a 5-week series. The 5s within 5s came through as a already created curriculum to me. So I want you to imagine then, this is a wonderful demo of channeling then, a good example of channeled information. So it's already formed. The curriculum was made, and I want you kind of to imagine it's for our human minds, up in the ethers somewhere already, pre-made. And I would say it was a construct of my higher aspects. But I felt it there. And the reason that the curriculum already formed with its 5 within 5 structure is because I asked for it. I said, I need a curriculum. I'm ready to help many people learn to channel. So that's in the first class, the first out of 5. One of the aspects of it, besides grounding, setting up a safe space, guarding your perimeter so that only high vibration, light, and love can come to you. That's important. But once you're grounded and protected and you've set up a good barrier for your workspace in which to call your angels or your guides, then one of the facets of the teaching in the first class is ask for what you want. And if you pay attention to yourself, I think you'll be surprised how many times throughout your life you simply haven't asked for what you want. Some people are naturally very good at this. If that's you, yay, more power to you. But most of us forget. And so step 1, when you're going to go and work on contacting your guide or learning to channel, set your intentions. Make it clear. What do you want? And so in this case, what I wanted was I wanted the curriculum. I wanted a good foundation and structure within which to teach people to channel their spirit guides. All right. Okay. I'll be in touch with you, Sarah. That's wonderful. It feels so good to contact a guide. Okay, so I asked for the curricula, and I want you to imagine, and this is the channel, right? Like a little, like if you had a body of water and then you dug a little line through the land to a new place, then wouldn't the water go from where it was through the channel and into the new place? So in this case, if I'm channeling, you're going to call me the channel, but the thing is also a channel. That's why it's channeling. So we're going to go ahead and make a connection and bring that consciousness from where it was into where you want it. In this case, into my conscious mind, who then got busy writing it all out so that I could write out the outline of my 5 within 5 structure. So that came in already formed. Everything was already done, outlined, obviously. And then what we do with our human minds is we turn it into words. It comes in wordlessly, but there it is, and you translate that wordless knowing, that consciousness, that information, sometimes even just the energy behind something, into words. And so in this case, I wrote out 5 steps to channel. And so within each of the 5 classes, there are all 5 steps. And I told you the first one was grounding and setting up a perimeter. There are 5 steps to doing that, and that'll be in the class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step 5 is calling your guide. Okay. There's also aspects in that class of setting, I said setting boundaries and asking for what you want. So then we're coming into class 2, which also has all 5 of the elements in it. And the 5 elements, to be clear, are going to be, setting your boundaries and grounding, calling in your guide. There's a 5-step process. And then after that, you're going to go ahead and take your consciousness, which is how you're going to communicate to your guide, and you're going to connect to your guide. Okay, so as we go through, so 5 within 5s, each one of these segments of the 5 is 55. If you look at the event, you're going to find out the pricing. If you wanted to pay for the whole class, then we're going to take one of those 55s off, and so it's 220, and the 22 energy also will affect you then, and it's going to affect you anyway, but you understand that we're on purpose, we're looking for the 5, the throat chakra, the communication, the speaking, the listening, that creating through your voice and your spoken word. And then the 22 energy is the energy of the master architect, where you're creating your life the way that you want it. So in this case, you're creating the life you want through your spoken word and your communication with your higher aspects, your angels and your guides, right? So then once you've contacted with your consciousness, then we're going to go into step 3, which has 5 ways to meet your spirit guide. And so here we're going to let you start to become creative. Your gifts are going to come in more easily in different ways according to how you're wired. And so some of you are more artistic and you might need to use movement or wordless toning or painting or drawing or sculpture or something. Some of you are energy transmitters and it may stay unspoken and it might not turn into words except by you describing an experience. And maybe you'll work with pure energetics and not have so much talking. But the structure's there so that you can, once you access the information, describe to another human being in sequential, logical steps how you're getting the information you're getting and where it's coming from. And I really can't emphasize that enough. It's like, hey, I know something and I don't know how I know it, but it's this. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay because the information is what matters. And when you ask your guide for their name or where they come from, you're going to hear that sometime. My name doesn't matter. It's not about me or any specifics like that. The message is what matters. Please receive my message. And they're that way, and then we get this way. But like, I want to be really sure. Can you help human me? Can you give me a confirmation? I would really like a name. It helps me to feel how real you are as another being, as another person. And so a lot of the times they will oblige you and give you a name. And what's fun is when you've never heard of it before. Like, could you spell that? Like, what's that? And then you go and you look it up and it means something and it's applicable to who they are in your life or what they feel like or what they seem like. That's wonderful confirmation. And besides, it's fun. It makes life more fun. I really love that. Ah, thank you. You have a beautiful energy. What a fun group you are today. Okay, so we're going to go through. We're talking about the 5 steps. We talked about setting boundaries and grounding and asking for what you want. So now you've set up proper boundaries. You've brought your consciousness out to contact the consciousness of your guide. You've deepened that connection in whatever way is most appropriate to you. Hey, hi Jessica. So once you have deepened that connection, you're going to open step 4. I can't do that. This is 4 to me. Step 4 then is an opening up of a stream of nonverbal communication. So for some of you, like I said, that will be your channeling. Your channeled light language, your channeled toning, your channeled grace and ease and movement and expression. I work with shamanic practices as well. Sometimes you will integrate your guide or your power animal and you'll dance and you'll move with your spirit animal and you're going to feel different in your body integrating that energy. That is a part of the channeling process as well, that you're integrating and being one being for that time. And there's different ways of doing this, and we'll talk about it in class. But a lot of times you are fully present while this is happening, but you're kind of watching it. You're merged, and it's okay. Your guides, your higher self, these aspects are a part of you. And so as you merge, what you are doing is you are becoming more yourself than you were before you were doing it. So your sense of self grows and changes and shifts by accessing your guides and channeling information in that way. And again, I told you there's many ways of doing this. You don't have to do that. What I mean by that is you can do a more classic channeling experience and have your guide be over here and open up that channel of consciousness and speak the information that your guide has that you don't have, if you want to kind of keep them in their space and then you stay in your space. It is possible if you're more comfortable doing it that way. My guides who are coming in are aspects of myself. So as one larger soul, for them to come in and fully merge and use my voice and speak to you is good for me. I love it. It's natural. It's wonderful. Again, always optional. You never have to. And so having opened up a flow of nonverbal communication in step 4, then step 5, which you, again, you may choose not to do, but a lot of you are pulled toward the verbal channeling. It pulls at you. And what does that mean? That's you're drawn to it, you're attracted to things that are meant to be a part of your life path. A lot of you have done this before, or in the spirit world. It's natural when you're not embodied. It's natural to merge and communicate in that, an intimate, integrated way, and with the understanding that when you separate, that the separation is temporary, that we all come from one source, and from one source we return. Again, you don't have to do that part or know that or even think about that in order to get the information, as far as we're talking about channeling information from your guide or energy from your guide. Some of your energy healers, you can channel healing energy from a powerful high vibration healing guide and help yourself or somebody else. So step 5 is the verbal channeling, where in real time, in the now, my language, my mind, my voice, my words are being used at the moment that they are being channeled, are being spoken simultaneously. And so that's fun. I'm going to do a quick demo as part of this video, because you should see the results. Besides, I'm very grateful for some description in the commentary. Let me see, I got a lot of voices and sounds. Yeah, yeah, that's channeling. So the movements, it's channeled movements and expression. The sounds, and they might sound like tones, or they might sound like an unknown language, and this is going to be communication and energy and sounds and possibly words from who you're accessing. So they might be light beings, they might be non-earth people, they might be angels, they could theoretically even be a past life consciousness. Some of you have spirit guides that are you or someone you knew in a past life. And so they're coming in speaking the native language. That happens. Like be channeling some earth language that you don't know. And in this case, maybe it's archaic. I'm just like, oh, okay, it's this language, but it's from the 1400s, so it's a little out of date. Like, what are you saying? That can happen. It's fun, right? Yes. And so that's what I'm saying. Good morning. And yes, the angels are absolutely beautiful. And some of you are angelic energies or part of your collective. Some of you are angels, and you're going to feel like an earth angel person. And people feel that around you. It's in your energy. It comes off of you. And so you'll feel next to somebody, and your sensitivity from moving your consciousness and detecting your various guides in step 2 can start to affect you in your day-to-day life, where you'll feel an old earth soul next to you, and then a star seed on the other side, and then this angelic being, oh wow, that's different. And you feel somebody's light and energy, and then a lot of us are a mix of interesting stuff. There you go. Fairies, nature spirit people. There's everything. And as you become aware of it, you start to understand others sometimes a little more than they understand themselves, and that's socially challenging. But so I'm going to demonstrate the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. If I can, I'll tell you what I'm doing while I'm doing it. It's a little bit, hi, Earth Angel. And having done this so many times, I feel like every time you go in to channel, you understand who you really are so much more than you did before. And so that self-knowledge leads to an inner wisdom, hopefully patience with yourself and others, a greater understanding of the bigger picture of who you are and why you're really here. And there's peace in that. There really is, knowing that if you've been through difficulties or you see somebody else suffering, that you have compassion for that, and at the same time less pain because you have an understanding of the bigger picture of why a soul would choose such a thing. So we're learning, we're growing in empathy, we're growing in compassion and understanding. And because of that, we're getting to a point in our development where we don't need to have all of the suffering that we've had up till this point. But that's off topic. I don't know what a hedge witch is. You'll have to tell me about that. Okay. So, and I've been doing these lives, and I usually teach on Zoom, so you'll see the link for the class is on Eventbrite, and that's just the platform, right? They do the ticketing, they give you the Zoom link. It just makes life easier for me. But the platform, once you get into class, we're in a Zoom room together, and then I can play music, we can all hear that, and the meditations work really well in that format as far as an online class. You'd be surprised. It works really, really well. For some of us, better even than if we were in the room together. That being said, yes, I miss teaching this class in a room with people. Age of Aquarius now, new earth energy. Have we waited long enough? It's been good. But what I wanted to do is put a little bit of music on. So let me see what we have here. It's going to be this one. Let's do this. Let's have it, friend. Where's it at? Oh, it's playing. Alrighty then. So, the 5 steps to channel, which I will teach you in the class. And every time I'm done with a 5-class series, I'll give it a little rest. And then when I feel it, I'll feel it building again like I did for January. Then we'll do another one. But get it while it's good, because who knows what's going to happen this year, right? So 5 steps to channel. So eventually, and this is funny because it's kind of hard for me to do it in steps, because what it's like is like when you learn to drive a car, weren't there 13 steps, and you check your left mirror, check your right mirror, look behind your shoulder, do this, do that. And then eventually it all turns into one smooth thing and you navigate without thinking about it. So that'll be you. For now, I have to think about then breaking it down into the logical sequence. So I'm closing my eyes. First, I am physically relaxing. Tuning into my breath. So, intention. Before I go into opening, my intention is to bring in a guide. And right now I don't know who that guide is, but I'm going to bring in one of my guides who is the best guide to deliver a brief message to you. So you're going to find out when I find out who that is. So I'll tell you, I purposefully lengthen my spine so the energy can run up and down more unencumbered. Open heart. I'm going to stay tall. I'm going to relax the large muscles of my body. So having relaxed my physical body, I'm going to add an element of grounding. In this case, I'm going to ground and connect to the earth underneath me. I'd like to do that on exhale. So nice. Grounded. So I'm going to set up a filter so that only unconditional love, high vibration, high consciousness can come into my space. And that prevents problems and unnecessary distractions. So I'm setting up my field. And that's part of asking for what I want, by the way. I want angels, high beings, masters, just helpers. All right, so I'm going to clear any blocks, any nervous energy, resistance. And I'm going to call in my guide. So I called in my guide, but before I channel, I'm going to take my consciousness and connect to him. I already know who he is, but even whether I do or not, I'm going to check. Right? Who are you? I'm checking his vibration, his color. There's no hiding your energy. I'm going to check his intention, his energy, his reason for being here. And I'm even going to ask, who are you and what are you here to tell me? If I didn't know who he was already, I would say, who are you? Are you my guide? Are you here for my highest good? I would check. Right. So this, I see him deep, deep, like midnight blue, sparkly. I know this guide. To me, he is raw. And his intention is to help me. Very clearly. He says that my intention is his intention and his intention is my intention. It's to help and to convey important information to others. So I'm already, there's a little channel, right? Because that's information that's coming from Ra. We have a previous understanding, so I'm easily reciprocating, like, yes, absolutely, I'm with you. Let's help others, let's relay the information. So if I needed to, I would use another method to deepen this communication so that I could see him more clearly, so that I could feel him stronger. If it was vague or faint in any way, I would ask then, please could you come in more strongly? I want to see you and feel who you are. Show me. And that would be part of my step 3 in deepening. But instead, I'm going to allow step 4. I'm going to bring him closer, closer, closer. He's inside my white light field because he can go through the barrier that I put up because he is a high vibration. His intention is high. He has unconditional love. And in this case, I'm going to use a method of imagining he's this beautiful color. The color that I sense, the blue. I'm going to breathe him in. And I'm going to ask that he deliver the message in words. I am Ra. I must introduce myself because I wish for you to understand the nature of the communication and the source. My source is our source, is your source. But this one's source, for now, is I. Aspects of myself have incarnated on your earth plane. I know to a certain extent what you are experiencing. So I am a good candidate to deliver information to earth humans. It is natural to doubt, to wonder. Those of you who are in a doubting, wondering phase, may you be blessed, may you find what you are supposed to find. And I send you, and the others who have no doubt, a stream of energy. May it soothe your heart. May it inform your mind. We have the capability of communicating in other forms. You may access me, I am Ra. You may access me in your meditations, dreams, if you wish, or in a similar fashion to the way that this one is communicating with me in the present moment. Questions? Who am I? I told you I am Ra. So as a consciousness, my entire consciousness has not incarnated within one human. I am massive, but I have happily put portions of myself into certain incarnated beings who then access my consciousness in a similar way that this one is accessing my consciousness in the present moment. So, may you be crowned with similar glory. I do believe it is a good consciousness. And this one is saying, time, time. We're running out of time. We will speak more. Connect with this one, and you will end up speaking with me again, and we will converse. For now, we will. So I'll tell you then, once you let go of that consciousness, then you're going to kind of notice where has your friend gone. And this time I feel like Rod wanted to kind of hang around and check out what we're doing. So we're interesting to them as much as they're interesting to us. You might feel them watching you. You're going to feel beings of different types, and your guides especially, very interested when you get into this kind of work, like, ooh, what are you doing? Can I help? And because they know it's your progress and that you're that much closer to a reunion while you're still in the physical. So it's exciting. Alrighty then. So we're over time. I'm done with that. I'd only say that the only final step after verbal channeling would maybe be to kind of like seal yourself in, give yourself a little time to integrate because the energies get into you. Yeah, Holly said I could feel his energy. He was on purpose projecting out to you, like um, respectfully. I want to respectfully describe it, but kind of like, here, check me out. So that was fun. All right. Whew. Um, Other than that, if you needed to ground after something like that, I'm like little like jazzed up. Probably when I stand up, my legs will be all wobbly. It kind of leaves you super, super, super energized. Like I just had a couple of espressos. Anyway, that fades, or you could just ground back into the earth, and you're your human self, just like that. All right. Questions you can post in the comments. You can contact me directly. If you look on the Healing Mind Center, there's the number. Texts are better than phone calls. You could set up phone calls. I do free phone consultations to set up private healing. Sometimes that's what you need, is one-on-one work. And if you have any questions and you want to talk to me about the Learn to Channel class too, if you're interested in it, it's for you, I promise. So again, I'm Liana. It was wonderful connecting with you in this way. I'll be in touch.